Hey folks, Dr. Gerstmar from Aspire Natural Health. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, the day I record this is Christmas Eve. So the family is here. The house is full of people with all the good and the bad that brings. Now, by the time you listen to this, at least a couple weeks probably will have gone by. So I hope that your holidays were happy ones. Remember, we talked about in the past that family can be blood, and not all of us are blessed to have blood family either around or to want them around, and that's okay. And family doesn't have to be blood. It can also be the bonds that we build with other people who can become our family for us or with us, because after all, relationships are one of the four key quadrants. If we truly want to be healthy, most of us focus on the first quadrant, which is the body. And it is. We need our body to be healthy in order to function in the way that we want it to live the life we want to. It is difficult to live the life we want in a sick body or one that isn't working as well as we want it to. It's possible, absolutely, but it's harder. So we want our body to be healthy. We also want our mind to be healthy as well. It's very difficult to live the life we want if our mind is not healthy and working well. The third quadrant, relationships. Again, it's hard to be healthy and happy if we're not surrounded by loving relationships. And the fourth is purpose. It is hard to live a life that we feel is worth living if we don't have purpose and meaning in our lives. So relationships, key piece. If your holidays were not happy ones, if you did not have the relationships in your life, if you had toxic relationships or you had relationships that really just didn't serve you, now is a chance to examine those relationships and think about what do we need to do to have healthier ones. That can mean cultivating relationships. It can also mean pruning away relationships as well. Well, this wasn't the topic I was going to talk about today. So let me segue from there, as important as it is, into the topic for today. So both of my parents have passed, and of course, like a lot of us, that makes the holidays a bit of a bitter, sweet occasion because we think about all the people who were here no longer here with us. I was remembering one specific event where my mom was getting a cup of tea. Now, my mom was English, and so tea was very important to her, and she would have a cup of tea. Now, my mom was just a regular woman, not particularly interested or especially educated about health. Of course, tried to be healthy, but not a big deal. And so she would just drink your average generic tea from the store. The cheapest ones that you can get in the tea aisle. Those are the ones that she would drink. And of course, being someone myself who had taken a lot of time and energy and spent a lot of money to learn about health and to be healthy, I, of course, would always buy the organic, high grade teas and everything. And then when she would go to make tea, unfortunately, for a long time, I was one of those guys who would be mom. And then I would tell her all about, oh, well, this tea is not organic and it can concentrate fluoride and other pesticides and blah, 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 blah. And here you need to drink this really nice organic tea that I bought, especially for you, or that I'm drinking. And then when she would say, well, I don't like the taste of it as much, I'd get back on my high horse and lecture her all about it. She was, of course, nice about it. She would sometimes drink the tea, and then when she could, sneak away and just drink her tea. It just reminds me, an unfortunate facet of human nature is our intolerance of other people making choices that are different than ours. Now, we cultivate it. Some of us are better than others. It's definitely a skill I've been working on and will continue to work on, I'm sure, for the rest of my life. But as I think back years before, I know I, in particular, was quite intolerant. It was the human condition here, the problem we have when we find something that works for us, we can become very intolerant of other people doing different things. Now, the place you see this manifest most starkly in the natural sphere, alternative, holistic, integrative, whatever you'd like to call it, of course, is around diet. Then we have people on vegan diets, people on omnivorous diets, plant and animal foods, and then we even have people on carnivorous diets, only subsisting on animal foods. And I'm going to tell you a secret here. They all work for some people. But of course, we find the one that works for us. We have people in the carnivore camp who found, some people have found stunning remission of autoimmune diseases or improvement in digestion or in other areas of their life by taking out all plant foods. Yes, it's happened. On the opposite vein, we have people who've had improvements in digestion and improvements in autoimmunity by taking out all animal foods. Yes, it's happened. And then for the vast majority of us, an omnivorous, healthy omnivorous diet containing nutritious animal foods and plant foods is going to be the one that is most sustainable and most workable for the vast majority of people. And yes, we've seen autoimmunity dramatically improve and digestive issues resolve and dramatically improve with a good, healthy, omnivorous diet as well. The reality is that all of them can work for some people. The problem is that human tendency to say, this works for me, therefore, this is what everyone should do. So this Christmas season, in fact, this whole year, I urge you in 2020, this is something humanity as a whole, all of us, and then each of us as individuals need to work on. Don't be, quote unquote, that guy or that gal who sits around and lectures the whole family about gluten or pesticides or EMFs or whatever the topic of your interest is. If it works for you, honestly, great, do it. If it doesn't work for someone else, that is okay. It's not a personal affront to each of us. Instead, we all, myself included, need to cultivate a live and let live attitude. You know what I would do these days? If my mom was alive and she was here with us, I would say, do you want some tea? And then I would offer her, hey, Mom, I've got this great high quality organic tea. It's really healthy and very tasty. Do you want some? And then if she said, you know what? No thanks. I'm going to have my generic, cheap, store-bought tea. I would go, great. Let me make that for you. Because you know what? At the end of the day, again, we're all living life. We all want to be happy, healthy. We want to live a purposeful, meaningful life in a sound body with a sound mind, surrounded by people who love and who care for us. So that is my wish for you for this Christmas and these holidays. I hope 2020 is an amazing year for you. Bottom line, remember, there is no perfect path. There are no things that, every single person needs to do aside from the basics, these things that we talk about. We can go over them again in another podcast. Instead of being that guy or that gal lecturing others, instead, if something works for someone, but it doesn't work for us, we go, great. You know what? If you don't need to eat gluten, I respect that. You know what? If you eat gluten, you feel great and fine. It causes no issues for you. Awesome. Keep eating gluten. All right. So that is it for me today, folks. Listen, we've talked about community today. I'd like to invite you to join our community on Facebook. It's known as the Aspire Natural Health Academy, ANH Academy. So all you need to do is go on Facebook, search for ANH Academy. You'll answer 3 incredibly simple, easy questions there. Well, happy to invite you in and join us for the group. We're going to be doing a lot of great supportive work in the community come the new year. So I'd like to invite you, please come join us, be part of the community. All right, Facebook, Aspire Natural Health Academy, ANH Academy. Just search ANH Academy and join us there. All right, folks, wishing you a very Merry Christmas, wishing you happy holidays, however you celebrate it, hoping that it was a time for family and friends and good feelings for you. All right, folks, until next time, take care.